news, and I love Molly Sleuth.
I am the eyes and ears of this institution.
Mama don't like tattletales.
Who knows? In 1,000 years, even you may be worth something.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Room for one more penny.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door.
I think we live in overstimulated times.
Hi, friend.
Hola.
Hola. I was going through YouTube lives today, and I just saw the weirdest shit, and I was like, maybe we're doing this wrong. Like, maybe we need to be just like trying on yoga pants and making weird noises and stuff. We have far too many teeth. I don't know. It's just a weird rabbit hole. Hi, everybody in the chat. Okay, so I am Molly Sleuth. I was a teenage punk rocker. I've seen some shit, and then I was an LAPD officer and a detective. Then I've seen a lot more shit, and that's where I met my best friend Randy Agard, and we worked Hollywood Division. Tonight we're going to be talking about cop stuff, some news. So jump in the chat with your cop questions. We are on Rumble for Molly Sleuth and the Randy Agard channel, and we are on what is that other one called? YouTube. We're on YouTube. It's been a long week. But we're going to talk cop stuff tonight, which, I don't know, I think you and I just like, well, before we went live, we were talking about sex, not with each other. Don't throw up live. I'll have to turn it into a short.
Good times. That's important.
Yeah. But I think we talk cop shit like all the time, just as a matter of course.
So when you're a cop, that's actually who you are. I'm gonna go have Thanksgiving dinner with my cop friend, and we can talk cop code. Molly, I think I'm gonna see my codex. Today is my Friday, and Molly knows exactly what I'm saying, even if no one else does. Well, actually, all LAPD knows what I'm saying.
Guns N' Roses is listening while she cooks. Make me a sandwich, bitch. No, she can cook. I've never had any, but I've seen it, and it looks delicious. Okay. Well, so there's a few, I mean, obviously we have like all the ICE shit going on. If you guys have cop questions about traffic stops, about local news or news near you, or ICE arrests, or whatever, jump in the chat. You can also always get to me at mollysleuth@gmail.com, and maybe you should come on. If you hate police officers, come talk to Randy and I. We're like so cool, and we don't judge anyone. You are fully free to hate both of us, but we love you anyway, and we'll fight for you anyway. So I want to talk about a couple of, because we got a lot of ICE protests this week, and I mean, the reporting is just so subpar. But one of them, like some hideous human being, is like on the ground. She's getting arrested for assaulting a police officer, a federal officer. And so that's what she's charged with. But like, if you look at all of these news stories, it's like clarinet player. Like, it almost intimates that she got arrested for playing the clarinet. And like, it's just so dumb. Just so dumb. We want a pitcher, not a belly itcher. I don't even know what that means, circle of one, sir. I probably should have said it out loud. Hey, so the emotes in the chat. So on the Molly Sleuth channel on Rumble, I change the emotes every week because that's just who I am. And we got some really good wars going on. So you can pick your fighter. There was a fighter for that cop. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe things weren't moved. And I thought I took that one out, but maybe not. And we've got some half-naked girls dancing. Anyway, you can have a little war, do your own traffic stop. Here comes the popo. And then to pull you over. And then here comes Randy out of his car with those salty motherfucking sunglasses coming to get you. Okay, well, you had more time on than I did. So when I got to Hollywood Division, like 2010, I think, you were already like seasoned, where I was like, I wheeled there. So I basically have a year on patrol as a probationary officer. And then they like take off the restraining bolt. And now you can like go do cop shit. And so we got to do some fun stuff, although we both worked with the same asshole who made you a convicted felon. Long story short, you'll have to go back and watch it. But we could certainly talk about any bits of that tonight. But Hollywood was a crazy beast. That was a wild city. I wanted to do my whole career in Hollywood. Every kind of person, every kind of crime. Like, it really is the most diverse, awesome place to work if management wasn't a total fucking corrupt piece of shit. The placeholder video was stuck on loop for me. I don't know why that was. We want a pitcher, not a belly itcher. I still don't have any idea what's going on there. And I think I have to put on my glasses to see Rod's emoji. Oh, you have a thief running away with the bag of loot. That's good. I put it there, but I already forgot. So, but we didn't really there wasn't a lot of politics in Hollywood. So all these like ICE arrests and stuff, that's really not a Hollywood issue, although downtown LA by the Clarence, courthouse would get a little bit. And I've only been in one protest. Have you ever been in a protest?
Yeah, I wouldn't call them protests, but it was more like LA Lakers won, so they want to destroy everything. Not the Lakers, the citizens. Halloween, they'd always flip out. New Year's, they'd always flip out. So it's basically
but you're talking about in uniform.
Say again?
You're saying in uniform.
Oh yeah, in uniform. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have been to more protests.
Yeah.
We did the Occupy LA, and then I was undercover for one of them. And what's the Mexican news
Mayday.
Station?
Oh, sorry. Telemundo.
Telemundo, yeah. They came and interviewed me. I was like, I don't want to be on TV at all. So I gave the most retarded interview of all time. And I was like, dude, if they put this on TV, I'm going to be a legend. They didn't, because I was too retarded. But that one was dumb because we were sent down there undercover. And it was the Occupy LA. So basically, we're going to shit in the streets and take over the city hall lawn so that we can have like more affordable housing. Like, you don't have to live in one of the most expensive cities in the country. You are aware of that, right? And so whatever, they take over the lawn, and we had Mayor Tony Villar at the time and Tonia Villaraigosa. Did it get extra crazy during the full moons too? Dude, it did.
Yes.
It does. It really
Yes.
does. That's the whole thing. And they talk about it in roll call. Guys, full moon tonight. Make sure you like watch your six and watch out for each other. Listen to the radio. It was always a thing. Yeah, full moon. It's a thing.
Yep. It's like they call each other and say, "Let's get crazy."
Yeah, I don't believe in any of that like woo woo whatever stuff. Obviously, I bought a new haunted painting. I'm really into this. Because all the like weird stuff happening at my new house isn't weird enough for me. Let's dial it up and buy some more dead people shit. Werewolves. Yeah, Rod, I don't know that there are very many werewolves in the city of Los Angeles. But who knows?
Molly, don't beat up on Rod. I told you I went to Virginia, and they love werewolves and dogmen, and they love.
Here it's Bigfoot. I'm in Michigan now.
Bigfoot.
And it's Bigfoot is fucking everywhere. And like in LA, we didn't really have Bigfoot. We had like the Cucuy, which is like the Mexican cabra, whatever. And I had some friends that said that they saw the Cucuy, but they were like Moore Park meth heads, and I think they were on acid at the time. So it's probably not a reliable source. So, but yeah, that Occupy LA. So I was there as a protester, and then I had to go as patrol to go bust that shit up one night. And they had made this geodesic dome of bamboo poles, and they were sharpening that shit on the fucking sidewalk to like spear chuck at us. These fuckers. And I mean, hazmat had to go in. There was so much like MRSA and staph infection and like so much gross shit going on the lawn of City Hall. And I don't remember how many millions of dollars it cost to like reseed the lawn and take care of all the fucking damage, but it cost millions of dollars of tax money. So then you want an affordable apartment, but the government has to subsidize fucking lawn seed, because this is why we can't have nice things, you dumbasses. And I'm all for protesting, and maybe that's where we start, is that if you want to make your voice heard, I got no problem with that. But this shit, even like pre-COVID, getting into a police officer's face or any human being's face and yelling in their face and having spittle go on them, like, that's not your right to do.
What about burning up cop cars, Molly? Like, it's 100,000.
Obviously, they got crazy. But so I think, we're having like a little bit of the tide turning now. And so you're finding what we would call like chicken shit arrests, I guess. More arrests for some of the smaller stuff that we had let go. And that's why you have all these like lefties like clutching their pearls in horror, like, oh my God, she only hit him once. Like, what are you doing? She's a mom. She's a clarinet player. Like, fucking just stop. Like, just be civilized. And I guess like, so you can hit the streets, but there are certain laws, and you got to look in your area that you don't break them. Because then you're going to be like, oh my God, I was just like taken off the street and I'm a mother. Like, okay, you let somebody come in you. Like, what does that have to do with protesting on the fucking sidewalk, blocking traffic, getting a megaphone in somebody's face, spitting on a fucking cop, sharpening a fucking geodesic dome of bamboo poles? Like, there are things that you cannot do. And I think one of them for, at least for Los Angeles, is that amplified sound, that you can't have those bullhorns. Do they? Yeah, they let a lot of that shit go. But at some point, they're going to be over you and being like, all right, 223.49 of the California Penal Code, or whatever the hell it is. And then you're like crying and going, oh my God, I can't believe I got arrested. Don't block the fucking road. I would like to think it's just like a normal person. I didn't grow up loving the police. I was a punk rocker. But if I saw people like holding a sign to make me aware of something on the sidewalk, I'd be like, huh, okay. Versus people that are like blocking my path or being a fucking dick or not letting my car drive through, not letting me walk through, all the stuff. Like, I don't really care what you're protesting. I already don't like you. And unfortunately, people are biased. Judges are biased. Ask the guy who showed up for his DUI hearing in a Tecate t-shirt. Didn't go very well for him. Oh, what was Randy saying? $100,000 for a cop car?
Oh, so the police car, because all of the fancy schmancy, whatever goes into it, once you hit it with a brick and you bust the window open and then you set it on fire, you flip it over, you destroy it, that's $100,000 that all of those Los Angelinos are going to collectively pay. Why is my rent so high? Why is everything so high? Because you guys destroyed only 10 police cars. That's $1 million.
Yeah.
And that's not to mention all of those cops who are not coming to your house to save you from somebody that's committing a crime against you.
Yeah, you really are pulling resources away because, I mean, they could make, and Randy and I worked LAPD, so if it's not called this in your town, oh well. Oh, and Circle of One says, see the latest one where the kid was throwing fucking rocks at ICE. He got arrested and leftists immediately paint him as being brutalized by cops. They're fucking sick and evil people. Yeah, I mean, I think part of that was that we let the temper tantrum go for like too long. And now like, oh my gosh, a rock? Like, why would you even arrest him for a rock? That's like nature. Like people were just like, and I think that just comes from being too kinder, gentler. And now like any bit of enforcing any rules makes you look like a tyrant. And that's just, it's myopic. And I also think it's just like wrong. You know, it's like being a police officer. Randy and I don't have kids, certainly not together. And, but like, I'd like to think we parented the entire city of Los Angeles. There are people that need parenting. And so if you think about like that teenager with that spirit of like, I'm going to go protest, mom, fuck you, mom, you know, slamming the bedroom door and shit. Like, yeah, you can be the kind of parent that like drinks with your kids and, you know, like, oh yeah, well, I did it too. And if he's gonna, you know, get high and impregnate people, he might as well do it in my bedroom with me. Like, you know, like you could be one of those. Doesn't usually end up very well.
Molly, think about the kind of kid that throws a rock at a police officer. And I know people are like, oh, you're protecting the cops. I'm protecting that kid because he's doing everything or she's doing everything else they want to do. And it's not going to end well for that kid.
Yeah, it's really wild to me because, I mean, just growing up, I mean, I had blue hair. I played drums in a punk band. I remember there was this one song by Fugazi, Great Cop. And so like, yeah, I think inherently it's like, oh yeah, police, like those aren't real people. They're robots. Like, but then you like see behind the velvet curtain. And for me, long story short, I had a boyfriend who was robbed on the LA subway. He lost his sinus cavity, his jaw, his pieces of every fucking tooth, his collarbone, his hematomas in his eye sockets and sinus cavity, if I didn't say that, blah, blah, blah. And so I was already volunteering for my neighborhood, getting signatures for speed bumps and preferential parking and trees to be planted and stuff. So I was already kind of, even as like 15-year-old, one of those like more DC politically correct kind of punk rock where you like work at the soup kitchen and you clean up shit on the weekends and you want to be a part of this world and make it a better place. And so I think I already had that element in me. And then being around police officers for the neighborhood association, and then they saw this idiot with his face all busted up. And then I started volunteering and it was like, wow, these people really like care. Like, I think I thought they were all robots, but I learned something about the spirit of the law, that like, just because it's illegal, there are certain crimes that, you know, like I can warn for. And a lot of that comes into play with traffic stops, which we were going to talk about. But with the protests, like there are certain chicken shit things that you can be cited, arrested. If you don't have ID on you, then it is reasonable that I can't write you a ticket just because you say that your name is Joe Schmo. So you might have to go get fingerprinted and you might have to be taken to a jail facility that could handle you. One of the ones, and I think it was Chicago or the clarinet player, they took her to a different jail facility and her partner said that, you know, she was kidnapped to some other jurisdiction. He wants to know like where she is, but like she's a full grown ass adult. We don't just like go, well, we had to take her to another one because, she said she was pregnant, or, she has AIDS, or like, we can't, there's a lot of stuff that we can't tell you. And she's a full grown ass adult. And I guess if she wants you to know where she is, then she can call you, collect, and you can pay for it or not. That's terrifying if your name is Rod. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Well, Molly, one of the things with this, my entire family is all immigrants. So I just want to clarify some of the stuff. Illegal and immigrant are not the same thing. Illegal and what the Biden administration did are not even the same thing. It was forced mass migration, and it was done for a reason. Cheaper wages, which is disgusting. Who's going to clean my toilet? That's disgusting. That's why you want these people here?
Yeah.
Voting for a certain political party. These are people, some of them got raped, some of them got murdered on the way up here. Some of them are currently slaves. So some of these people who are protesting so that can keep going on.
Yeah. And it's not even just the girls that are forced to work in the massage brothels, but you have like, oh, who's going to pick your crops and who's going to clean your toilet, Donald Trump? And like, dude, like, you're not going to import third world and take advantage of these people. Like, I thought you had a heart. Viewing the people that you're dealing with as a subvariant is part of the problem. I mean, listen, you push a marked black and white police vehicle with us, you will see that there are some people that should not be just free to roam the streets. There are some people out there that are fucking subvariants.
Molly, there are monsters out there and you do not want them. When we pull you guys over, I'm not a cop anymore. I've been a cop in 10 years. So I've been on both sides of the law. So I know exactly what you're saying. But that whole better than you attitude, most cops that Molly and I saw, they didn't have that attitude. We looked at you as nurses and doctors and lawyers and whatever. Now you're out here murdering, you're pushing women in front of trains. You're kind of a problem a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some real fucking monsters. In fact, today, whatever reason, I was thinking about, maybe it's with the rocks. And I'm going to throw the StreamYard in the chat on the Molly Sleuth if you want to join as a guest and come on and ask us questions or tell us that we're beautiful or to fuck off. Come on on. But I arrested this guy. We got a radio call of this guy ripping license plates off of cars at the beach. I was working in West LA. And with this guy, Mike, just a good, solid guy. But we show up and this guy is just fucked up. And we're trying to just like get him off the beach. But these people called and they're like, well, he broke all of our stuff, but we don't want to report it. And we don't really want him to go to jail. But he's on so many drugs. We're afraid he's going to drown one of these little kids going to there was like a swimming lesson in the fucking ocean with little kids. And so these bleeding hearts called and said, could he just destroy stuff a little bit further away? Like, that's kind of not how we take care of stuff. So then you have to put on your cop hat and you're like, all right, well, so they don't want to arrest for any of these crimes. And we didn't see him rip off the license plate or break the rearview mirror. So there would have to be either a private person's arrest, or you'd have to observe a crime. And these are all just the legal games that get played. And so he goes and lays down, he won't talk to us. And we just want to like ID him and this stuff. And he's pretending to be asleep. And there is a technicality of the law that you cannot camp on the beach. And so we're like, hey, we're going to have to give you a ticket if you don't like get up and just like, leave the area. And so he's pretending to be asleep. And so I get my ticket book. And now all these bleeding hearts that fucking called the police because they wanted him to leave for the children's safety, they're all now recording us. It's like, you fucking called us. So anyway, he pops up off the sand and starts taking off layers of clothing. You and I both know what that means. We're going to fight. So I take my ticket book and I throw it as far into the sand as possible because it's made out of metal and I don't need that shit getting knocked into my head. And the fight is on. and he broke Mike's pinky and I broke his elbow. And this is like live on the news with like the helicopter going around us. And like the whole world was coming, but not quick enough, because as the geographic area of the city of Los Angeles goes, the Pacific Ocean is the furthest spot west that you could possibly go. And I think it took 21 minutes for the first backup officer to get there.
Jeez.
That's a long time. And we're fighting this guy, and I'm chasing him up Pacific Coast Highway. My gun's out, and he tried to carjack some guy and like, you see a cop coming, chasing a guy who's like, you know, and you're standing at the open door of your motorhome, like, and I'm screaming, get in, lock the door. And this guy was like, what's going on? And so the guy goes in to the motorhome to steal it. But I guess the keys were like in the guy's pocket or something. I don't know. So then this fucking idiot gets out of the motorhome and he picks up these 2 rocks and he goes to throw them at us. And one of them was like the size of a grapefruit and the other one was like the size of a cantaloupe. That comes into play because when I wrote my report, my watch commander was like, what? Why don't you just write how many inches? Like, do you know how many inches a grapefruit is offhand? I fucking don't, but I know what size a grapefruit is. And if you're standing across the street holding a grapefruit, I know it's a grapefruit. But I couldn't tell you from across the street, oh, it's approximately 6 3/4 inches or 9 1/4 inches, or like, fuck you, it was a grapefruit and a cantaloupe. Like, but then when he throws the rocks at us, I'm like, oh shit, it's the fucking rock chucker. Because I was working undercover the year before, and we went to a help call. Help call is officer needs help, and it's like everybody stops everything. The fucking station clears out. Everybody goes to that call until it's code 4 or everything's good. And he had one of the officers on the ground and had was taking away the gun of another officer when a private security guard, this guy, Eric, I won't say his last name, but he worked for a small private, nice community on the West Side, came and just fucking fought this guy, split his eyebrow, the officer did, the private security officer, and absolutely saved these 2 officers. Like, he was a little bit of a weird guy, and he always wanted to come like see what we were doing. And so I would just like flip on the sirens and get the fuck out of town and just be like, dude, leave me alone. Stop following us. But I did write him a really nice, like, thank you, like from the whole station. Like, you fucking saved Mendoza and Arceo. And this fucking asshole was let go. And I saw that defense attorney, female, at LAX courthouse soon after that. And I think he did 3 days in custody. And then he was let out. And I said, does that even weigh on you? Because this one, where he's throwing rocks at me and broke my partner's pinky, that was his 13th arrest for hospitalizing a police officer. He doesn't beat up butchers, bakers, or candlestick makers. He hates cops. And so the defense attorneys are saying, like, well, he's mentally ill. You can't be selectively mentally ill. You're either a menace to fucking society, or you can get your shit together. And the fact that you can go, not a target, boop, 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 like must throw rocks, like, get over it. Like, at some point, this guy is going to kill somebody, or we're going to have to kill him. And I don't know what happened to that guy. Palazzolo was his last name. But he got off on our thing too. And my friend's pinky was like never right. Like, it like faced the wrong way. And that's for life. Like, that's his fucking hand. He was like late 20s. Good guy.
So Molly, with that said, this is way before any of this stuff that's going on right now was going on. I think it was like 2015. I already said it. Sheriffs had arrested this guy, and ICE was on their way to go get him. And they were like, no, let this guy go because no one's illegal on stolen land, all that good stuff. So they didn't arrest him because he was jaywalking. They arrested him because he tried to kill his girlfriend, who, by the way, I think she was like 16 or she was just underage. tried to kill her. Sheriffs are like, we got to get this guy out of here. This is Los Angeles, and we got a virtue signal, and criminals are the good guys, and good guys are the criminals. So they let him go. ICE gets there. They're like, where's this guy at? Oh, we let him go. He goes and he completes the job. He kills the girl. And luckily for her, she had her friend there with her, who also got killed. So a lot of you people that like the virtue signal, and people are just people.
There was this word luckily, and I thought that there was going to be like a happy ending going on there. Like it just got darker.
Yeah, extremely darker. So the two officers that were telling about this, I was doing security when this happened. So security is usually either like retarded people or retired cops. So these guys are like older sheriffs, and they were just telling me all the ins and outs. And this is when I was still a Democrat, and I was still kind of I wasn't pro-criminal. I just was like, oh, cops are bad guys, and they're just pressing people, even though I was a cop. But at that time, I used to think the media was real. And I think the issue is the media just gets that bottle and they just shake it. Oh my God, she's just a clarinet player, and these people, they just want a better life. Most of them do. If just 1% doesn't want a better life, don't be that person that runs into that 1%.
Yeah. Let's just catch up with the chat real quick. Roseless Art is on your page on Rumble with a bunch of votes and said, is there any land that is not stolen, otherwise called contested?
1 second. Rose, I agree with you. You want to know something? It's conquered land. Everything is conquered. The only group where they say it's stolen is they kind of look like Molly. Now, if I take it, I conquered it, and it's now mine. Am I excused? I'm not even going to get into it. Rose, I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to agree with you.
Yeah.
I look like this. Rod says, I watched a video yesterday of a guy who walked into a pizza place and just started punching people. The guy obviously had mental problems, but yeah, some people need to be removed from society. Oh, we got Chris coming on the show. Look at his flag. Hi, friend.
Hello, Chris.
Couldn't get enough. And then Ben says some of them need the shit beat out of them first, then removed. Yeah, they probably do, but that's not my job as a police officer. My job is to just enforce pre-existing laws and not common sense.
But
So
Molly,
what's up, Chris?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, whoever, anyone but me.
Oh, you go ahead and introduce yourself, Chris. I was going to say something to Molly, but I'll wait.
Hey, I'm Chris Leland. I was formerly a roofer for 14 years, and for many of those years, I worked with guys who were fresh out of jail and stuff like that. And I kind of grew up in the counterculture, so I have sort of the other side view of this, maybe a little bit from the. Now, I wouldn't say we were cop haters, but we definitely, kind of didn't like the law, and felt like there was more people that abused it than were good cops. Not that we didn't know good cops, because we definitely did, but we also knew some real jackasses too. So.
Well, I mean, it really depends on the agency with what they're valuing and who they hire. Yeah. I mean, Randy and I have both sat in the car with people we wouldn't invite to our fucking funeral. But it doesn't mean that the overall profession is rotten. Just like, I'm sure you've had waitresses that were cunts that forgot that you wanted to side a ranch and charged you for shit they never delivered and blah, blah, blah. But you're not going to go protest evil waitresses. It's a little bit different because we are granted that 835 APC, which is the ability to use reasonable force to effect an arrest. But
I think a big part of it is Hollywood and the media, because when Molly and I were cops, I'm not gonna say people loved us, but I go to a club or a bar and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a police officer, and there girls in there be like, oh my God, that's close to as sexy as a fire. I'm like, I can't put out a fire. Now I can say I used to be a cop, and girls will never talk to me ever again. Or I can say I'm Randy, and they'll never talk to me again. Whatever. That's not the point.
Girls don't talk to me either, so it's fine.
Yeah. We share things.
Does society separate cops from the regular people, or do they separate themselves? Because I know this is no joke. There's sort of like enclaves where they all live in like the same neighborhood, so they all kind of live together, not necessarily in the same as next door neighbors, but like they're grouped together in kind of a general area.
Do you know why that is, though?
I'm not sure.
So they want to go to the safest neighborhood that they can afford. And just like I know it is everybody, but they're willing to drive a little bit further. The house that I owned before this one, I had a bunch of veterans around me. Actually, I have veterans around me right now too. But there was one specific old man that lived across the street from me. And this was during the Summer of Love, where protesters said that they were going to go to door to door to grape women. And the old man and he was a Vietnam vet. And I said, I'll pick off anybody on your front porch if you pick off the ones on mine. And so we just had a pact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, police officers,
too,
they don't make a lot of money, so they're not going to be in fancy neighborhoods. And you do want to be around more reasonable people. So for California, they had this thing called the Officer Next Door program. Randy, do you know anybody that's ever fucking used that program where you could get a cheaper house or a better APR if the whole neighborhood knows you're a fucking cop? That's not happening.
Yeah.
And even my best friend in the LAPD Academy, she had to keep my war bag in her trunk. If I walked around my fucking neighborhood, I lived in Rampart Division. If I walked around my neighborhood with a cop war bag, I wouldn't make it home. So, like, when your money starts getting to a point where you could afford a house, and in LA it really isn't, so they move like way the fuck out. And so like for LA, it's like Santa Clarita, but Santa Clarita is also like the home for the most amount of like low income parolee housing right now. So it's not that we all want to live, nuts to butts with each other. We just go where we can afford to buy a house, and maybe our kid could ride their bike down the street. And unfortunately, it's not exclusive. So there's a lot going on in Valencia, Santa Clarita when I left there. But yeah, it's just like if you're a college kid that wants to run around in your underwear and play loud music and do beer pong on your lawn, like you're going to move to a neighborhood that's conducive to that. People self-segregate. So,
yeah,
in LA, we had Little Bangladesh, Koreatown, Little Tokyo, Chinatown, whatever the Russian one was. And it's so self-segregating.
Well, in Brooklyn, where my family lives, the entire block is from Trinidad. That's an island in the Caribbean for anyone who doesn't know. So it's more of a culture thing.
Apparently, I only identify with 18th Street gang members because that's where I lived when I was in LA.
You said you wanted somebody to ask questions about what it's like to be a cop, or and related things. Sorry, I'm talking like an idiot. Do police officers have a duty to disobey an unlawful order? And if so, have you ever done so?
Yes. We have together, Molly. Just sign the notice to correct on the police car that you guys didn't crash.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just trying to think because like that's a real wide concept. So if you could give me something specific. But yeah, for Randy and I, long story short, but they wanted us to sign a notice to correct, which is like a smaller disciplinary action, that we crashed a cop car. Like, we didn't crash a cop car. Let's start there. And so, and the weird thing is like, I don't think they even thought that they were going to pull that off on us. Like, they knew we didn't crash it, and they were still asking us to sign it. And so both of us were just like, hell fucking no. But it is a 128, which is a higher disciplinary, to not sign the notice to correct. I think we both signed the notice to correct, didn't we?
I believe so. But I think
Yeah.
we're super pissed off, and I think you had to leave, and
Oh,
I
I got
nearly
a
went to
rep.
prison.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got a rep. You did not. You're a felon,
yes.
and I made detective. That was kind of how that worked. But so, like, what do you mean an unlawful order, Chris?
Well, this is a bit extreme, and we're talking about wartime. But there was a Marine who, I think Randy can probably tell you what would happen if you're in a column and you go under fire and you're given orders to repel boarders or whatever it is that they tell Marines. You're going to kill everything that's around you and shoot. And he refused to fire at people that weren't, any threat to him. And he basically, under a threat of court martial, they're like, you better fire your weapon right now or I'm gonna court martial you. So he said he picked the corner of a building and just fired into the sky basically to make the CO happy. But that kind of thing, when you're kind of pressed to do something which isn't correct or you shouldn't probably do, but the CO is demanding that you do it, that kind of thing.
You're going to be in a lot of. They're going to hold you to account because the days of Nazis, I was just doing my job. It's over. Like 4 of us male officers go into the place and she's naked, and it's like we got to fight her, and that's not going to go over well for any of the officers there or the supervisor who told them go ahead and handcuff this naked girl and search her and do all this other crazy stuff. It's not going to end well. Well, Sergeant so-and-so told me to do it. That's not going to fly.
Well, I think there's a huge difference between military and local law enforcement. And Randy, you've done both. But I can tell you, if a sergeant told me, hey, shoot that guy, I can't shoot that guy. We have drawing and exhibiting policy. If I see, let's say Randy and I are in a traffic stop and I see Randy pull his gun out, I'm allowed to pull my gun out because his training and experience is telling him that the tactical situation may lead to the point where deadly force may be justified. So I don't know what he sees yet, but I am legally allowed to also draw and exhibit my firearm just based off of other officers doing it. Now, he starts shooting down the alleyway. I'm not allowed to also shoot down the alleyway. I have to know what the hell what threat I'm trying to stop. So,
well, let's say you're at one of these protests and you've done this kind of work, and your CO or whoever's there tells you, hey, it's time to start cracking skulls, and you're like, hey, these people are all being peaceful. I'm not gonna hit anybody or spray anybody. They're not doing anything wrong, but they might still go at you and say, no, it's time to put the smack down on these guys and teach them a lesson and put them in line.
Chris, have you noticed when they film the protests, like the media, you got this one guy, he's just swinging his baton at everybody. Another guy, he might be shooting his beanbag shotgun at everybody. And then Molly's she's still just in line with her baton. You're just in line with your baton. I'm just in line with my baton. I'm not saying cops are trained better. It's just because the guy next to me is going insane, it's not going to be like contagious insanity. I'm not going to just start swinging and getting crazy myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to
different.
just even picture a sergeant going, it's time to crack skulls. Like, that is
push them along or whatever, once they decide to start moving people along, they'll all form up and kind of contain the people, and then they'll try to push them along there. So if they have to, they'll start busting. I mean, they do, boys.
It just really doesn't work that way. Yeah. But let's say you had an out of control sergeant who decided it was his last day on the job and he decided to say something that fucking stupid. You would just as a watch or as a team or
they're not going to use that language. They'll say the official language, like move forward or whatever it is. They're not going to go, go bust some skulls.
So it doesn't okay. So at least in terms of a protest, it doesn't work that way. In that your targets for arrest are specific. So let's say they give the dispersal order and you've got 14 on the corner that are left that are just like, fuck you, we're not leaving. So they are now committing a crime. So you have your First Amendment. We let you throw your temper tantrum. We even let you block the fucking street, have your fucking megaphone, scream in cops' faces, have a bunch of big fat fucking sticks, waving flags as weapons too close to other human beings. Like, we've let you get away with a lot of fucking nonsense, but this is where we draw the line. It's gone on for 3 days already. We don't know how the trash can fire started, but we're done. And so they give the dispersal order. Anybody that's caught, and like Randy, you know, because you've been to all these Lakers riots and all these fucking New Year's Eve riots and stuff, they give that dispersal order like no fewer than 79,000 motherfucking times. So if you're still the dumbass caught on the fucking corner, like, you're too dumb to go home tonight. Like, you have to have a timeout. Like, there's so much leeway where we're like, please just go. Nobody wants to hear your nonsense. And like, I'm pregnant, I'm a mom, I'm a clarinet player. Like, nobody wants to take you to fucking jail. Have your little temper tantrum, move the fuck on, go home, get a fucking job, and like do something about this world instead of whining on the fucking street corner. But
well, obviously, this is Canada we're talking about here, but you know, the Canadians are a whole different type, you know. So when they're protesting like they were during the lockdowns,
Canadian truckers.
Yeah, there was some pretty rough treatment by some of the cops. I mean, people were getting trampled by mounted cops, and that had to be over the line somewhere. I mean, I can't imagine having to, you know, be tough with that crew.
Yeah, but I think, don't you have to know the temperature of politics before you apply for a job? You know, it's like if you were doing nails and you had nothing but nasty, disgusting, dirty fucking people come in, and your boss is like, well, this is what we do. Then you're like, I got to question what I do or where I work. I think I'm going to go to a more high-end place that doesn't allow these walk-ins. Like, I'm not getting MRSA again, you know, whatever the case is. And so if I would imagine if you're working as a police officer in Canada, like, you already know the laws that are there, and it's up to you whether or not you want to be there. Like, I would tell people all the time, I am law enforcement. I am not common sense enforcement. Like, as much as I would love to drag your neighbor kicking and screaming to jail right now, it technically doesn't rise to a level of criminality. You've got to take them to civil court, get a restraining order against them, like, give them other options that go with the law. But for those people that are still standing on that corner, you would target, okay, that one's been the loudest, so we're going to pick that one off, and then hopefully 5 more will go the fuck home. And if not, then we're going to get the girl in the green sweater, and then we're going to get the guy in the black jacket. So yeah, I mean, it really is, they're not trying to crack skulls. They just want you to, like, use your fucking skull, have your temper tantrum, and then go home. Like, they're not saying that you can't protest, but like, they're becoming wild fucking animals, Chris, and it's not okay.
Well, Chris, I am not a police absolutist. Like, what I saw them do to the Canadian truckers, what I saw them do to school moms, I don't agree with that stuff. Oh, you're a terrorist because you don't want your kids getting inappropriate lessons in school. Or you're in Canada and you're like, we kind of want our freedoms. But a society gets the cops that they ask for. Tijuana, listen, you're drunk in Tijuana, we're not taking you to the station. We're going to take you behind us and do all kind of horrible stuff to you. Canada, they're more political police. They're more, you guys should just be getting the vaccine, and if not, we're gonna cancel your bank account. UK, I know you got raped by some people from a certain region and religion, but you posted about it, so you're under arrest. Well, what about the guys who did this to me? So when I hear cop, I'm not thinking you're just a good guy and the bad guy's the bad guy. Nazis had police officers. I don't agree with that. So to what you're saying, it goes back to what Molly said. Know what kind of cop you're going to be. Like, would I be a police officer right now? No. I'm not going to make sure you're vaccinated. But you robbed a store, so you're free to go.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't think, well, LAPD didn't enforce the vaccine shit. I don't think, but private businesses did. I think, not that I made any cards for anyone. Certainly would never. Rose Sisselart says, is there any land that's not, okay, wait. Yep, don't run with the mean crowd. Isaiah 59:7. Their feet run to evil and they make haste and shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of inequity, wasting, and destruction are in their paths. Thank God there are people who will go handle the wayward who tend to be violent. And then people just feel more comfortable with what they're familiar with, get along easier, don't misconstrue things, etc. Differences between high trust societies versus combat against different regimes in foreign lands. Those kind of protests are the adult version of children flipping off their parents for getting reprimanded. But also if the good guys don't infiltrate where the commies are and then risk being correlated, there's no hope since people bowed down to force. Yeah, I mean, I know people wanted to defund the police, but like, honestly, like what kind of cops are you getting now? Like you're not getting Randys and Mollies. So unfortunately.
We live in two different Americas, because if you look at the values of some people and you look at the value, we live in three different Americas. You have people who are fighting for us to keep our America, and our America is the America of that guy who jumped into a river with his daughter and they drowned. That's the America he's trying to get to. He's not trying to get here because he wants a PlayStation and his daughter didn't die for nothing and he didn't die for nothing. And I'm not saying come here illegally. I'm just saying that's the three of us, America, 80% of America. Then you have the America of I got a participation trophy and I'm going to throw a rock at a cop and I didn't get my way today. And I think America is this evil racist country, even though I think everybody that's brown should come here. Like they make no sense. And it's kind of like one of the people in the chat said, if it's evil, you run towards it. You think evil is good. Like you started a GoFundMe for the guy who stabbed the girl on the train. That's who you're on the side of. And I don't mean you guys on the chat. I just mean the other America. And it has nothing to do with skin color, race, religion, any of that stuff. It just has to do with Hollywood, media, academia, and these crazy communists. That's the America they want.
Yeah, I mean, there is a certain amount of lawlessness that has occurred in the last several years since we got what LAPD calls kinder, gentler. But I think you need officers with common sense. And like, Randy, I'm sure you worked with guys that were totally by the book. And like, you were like, I got a ticket in Michigan for going 4 miles an hour over the speed limit. I think that was kind of bullshit. Like I was going with the flow of traffic. But, live and learn. I was going 4 over. So I paid my ticket and I didn't get another one within the next whatever amount of years. So now I can go do it again. But like I won't, because it's like, fuck you. Yeah, technically, like it's 4 miles an hour over the speed limit. You got to draw the line somewhere. But I also really believe in spirit of the law. But if I see a car that I think could possibly be stolen based off of multiple things that are going on, their rear window is missing and the license plate is removed and it's clearly not a brand new car, it would have dealer plates on it, like it could be stolen, I might use that 4 miles an hour as probable cause to stop the car to find out what the fuck you're doing, so that I can help protect other people. And I honestly think, although I think that there's some people that really fear and distrust police, and I did work for another police agency that fully earns that. Not everybody that works there, but they were terrible. And I was unemployed for 18 months because I left a job not knowing what the fuck I was going to do. And they weren't kind about giving me a good reference. So, but I think there is that spirit of the law, letter of the law. And I think you really need like people with common sense who have lived life. I don't know that you should be hiring like every 21-year-old, because I don't like, they've never even worked at a fucking movie theater. How are they going to know about, real people? A lot of the officers I worked with for Grand Rapids Police, Like, this is all they've done. They've never paid a bill late. They've never like had any problems. So they don't understand like that one waitress that's like driving to work on a flat tire and blew through the stop sign because her brakes don't work. Like, they don't understand that she needs that car to get to work so that she can pay to fix the fucking car. But I got written up 17 times in one shift. So I guess they didn't like me very much.
I stopped writing movers unless you really, really earned it. Because when I was getting trained, my training officer, he said, listen, be fair with your tickets because it's kind of an injustice for you to write a ticket for this woman who's going to make $400 for the week and the ticket's $400. And they're not doing donuts in the middle of the wherever. She's just driving with her stop, whatever might be broken, her stoplight, her brake light's broken. Miss, the reason I stopped you is because blah, blah, blah. Please get it fixed. And in my case, you usually had to either talk me into getting a ticket or be a danger to the public. One lady, she ran every single friggin' stop sign she could find. And I'm like, I'm trying to not write you. What'd you stop me for? I'm trying to get, and I wrote her for everything I could find. And she talked me into it, Chris. Because I'm like this. Chris, what do you do? Oh, I'm a roofer. Oh, you do roofs? Okay. I'm going to try and give you a warning. And you're drunk and you're doing 70 in a school zone in the parking lot. Yeah, I'm gonna write you up.
So I didn't catch that kind of break. I kind of got the opposite. I was working like 7 days a week towards the end of November where my birthday is, in the beginning of November, excuse me. But, anyway, I didn't have any time to go to Secretary of State. I let my plates expire, and I was sitting out in front of my business where I work at. My truck was parked out there in the road. And I know the cops go through there because it's a bad neighborhood, so they kept going through there. So they probably saw my tag was expired at some point during the day. They noticed it. Because when I left for work, or excuse me, when I left home to go home that day, the cop whipped around and raced up and got behind me. So he knew, he was waiting on me. And he wrote me a ticket for an expired plate. And he's kind of giving me a hard time. And as he's, finishing up and walking away, I was like, yeah, what goes around comes around. He's like, what was that? And I said, have a nice day. And then, no kidding, 90 days later, I look in the local newspaper, and there is a picture of him. He's got arrested for DUI and fired from the police department. So I was like, serves you right, you dick. But really did happen. I don't want to give his name, but in case he's a cop again. But yeah, he got arrested for DUI like 90 days later. But yeah, it was he knew my tags were expired, and he whipped around and nailed me for it. And I was like, come on, man, I'm working every day of the week, even on Sunday. Cut me a break.
Right. I mean, that does seem like a chicken shit enforcement action, but I loved stolen cars. There's nothing more fun than going on a police chase. I guess they don't chase stolen cars anymore, but going on a chase was a good fucking time in LA. And so I used to run hundreds of plates. So if your shit is so expired that it's going to get impounded, if I give you a ticket, which is a fix-it for 4001 of the California Vehicle Code, now it's going to be less likely that somebody is going to impound your car. So in a way, giving you that ticket, making it a fix-it ticket instead of taking that car for plates that are expired over 6 months, is actually the kinder thing to do to you. But there are people that are just sharks, and they typically work alone. They work traffic units, and they love to give tickets.
2 days after expired, 2 days.
Oh, 2 days? Wow.
I know, but okay. But also, to be fair, I've only lived in Michigan. I know, but I've lived in Michigan for 5 years, and I know that they mail it. One, in Michigan, your plate expires the month of your birthday. And however many years old you are, you've had that many years notice that your registration's about to be up.
I knew it was going to expire.
You can pay it online at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning in your underwear.
Now you can. In 2007, you could not. You had to go and be at the Secretary of State and give them money and get your little plastic tag. So you had to make time to go down there, and they were closed at 5. And I worked well after that every day. So there was like no chance, especially right in the period just before my birthday, because salesmen like to sell a whole lot of roofs, and we had to get them done for the snowflies. So like we did more work during the period, right now than we would do in the middle of the summer. But
well, you have a year's notice that the busy season's coming.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
I'm
That's
just
exactly
saying.
the stuff the cop. You kind of. I mean, he was a lot nastier about it, but yeah, he was unforgiving about it. You had plenty of time. You knew it was going to expire like that, and he cut across like lanes of traffic and made cars stop like a maneuver to get over behind me. Like, man, what a dick.
Yeah, except that. So Obviously, I'm not that police officer, but I can tell you that I have formed many opinions in my life from seeing and doing. And a lot of times, if you have expired plates, you also have the kind of person who doesn't take care of some of their other shit. So now you got a felony warrant, and now you got a gun, and now you got some drugs, and now you got a fucking stolen kid in the trunk. Shit happens. And sometimes it's smaller things like that lead you to bigger things. I am what they called a shit magnet. And so I liked some of those smaller things because it led me to some bigger S.
Molly, those smaller things are actually, so Chris, there's something called proactive policing or OBS work. And we tend to get away from it whenever a major incident happens, like they call it the Ferguson effect or what happened with George Floyd, because I'm just stopping you because you have expired reg. I did not know you killed your neighbor and they're in the trunk. And that's led to a lot of it. I want to say, what was the bombing? It was a huge bombing way back in the days.
McVeigh.
They stopped them on the traffic.
Murph building? You're talking Timothy McVeigh?
Yeah,
I think that. Yeah. And a lot of these are done by just OBS work, and they got away from it because we started doing identity politics policing. And I'm not saying, I'll give you a ticket and you've had it, your reg has been expired for 2 days. I'm saying, like in LA, we were having a giant gang war. It's called 100 Days, 100 Bodies. So they were just using traffic stops to grab these guys. And then the Mirror and LA Times was like, stop stopping them. You're harassing Black people. And what it turned into was, okay, we're not going to stop them. Now you can kill as many Black people as you want. A-Trade Gangster Crips and Main Street. So I just want to thank LA Times for that and the Mirror. And of course I'm being sarcastic because I know you guys will take it out of context. Not you two. The people who think it's okay to hurt people if they disagree.
Yeah. Remember when the ACLU got an injunction against us that we weren't allowed to pick up people's personal property off the fucking sidewalk because they might come back for it? And these were like dirty needles and shit that we were not allowed to touch. And so you have like business owners that have put all of their money into a shitty business for some guy to take a crap and inject heroin and block your door and all that kind of stuff. And then we just have to say, unfortunately, I am law enforcement and not common sense enforcement, and I'm not allowed to touch their dirty needles or their syphilis blankets or any other shit. I got some extra gloves in my car, though, if you want to do it yourself or hire a company. And like that kind of stuff is, that broken window theory has just gotten totally out of control. And even in Michigan, we're getting a lot more graffiti now. And there's just like an air of lawlessness to places that were relatively unscathed. It's kind of a bummer. Okay, catch up with the chat. Yes, Rose Thistle, I do see, and I'm going to say everything that you type. And if you have a typo, I'm going to read it out loud. She says, so true, Randy, they're not America, they hate America. Circle of One says, if you live in an inverted reality, good looks evil, the truth looks false. And then Rod said, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. I think America provided such a safe space that some people are indoor cats who were released into the wild to be free. Oh, Rose Thistle, you're fun.
Like that.
That's biblical, that even if someone owes you money, you don't destroy their ability to earn money to pay you. Yeah, Grand Rapids didn't feel that way, though. The stupid post office lost my registration, so I had to hurry and pay extra to get a replacement before my current registration expired. The post office here sucks. sucks. I think it sucks like everywhere. So I'm in Lansing, and our mail, if I mail something to my direct next door neighbor, it goes to the hub in Grand Rapids, like 68 miles away, and then it comes to my neighbor's house. That's how backwards it is here.
They used to do all that on Collins Road, but they stopped doing it there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was recent. So we didn't used to send all our stuff to Grand Rapids and then back.
Yeah, that's
I
just
don't know how
so
that's efficient,
dumb.
but apparently it is. I don't know.
Well, Molly, I wanted to ask, this is not for you two guys, it's for the chat. Why do you guys think there's been a rise in lawlessness slash, especially for the people putting biblical stuff? It said closer to the last days, there would be, people would call good evil, evil good. And that stuff is coming true, especially the lawlessness. And I just kind of want them to write in the chat or the comments section. And you guys can answer too, but I've noticed that all of that stuff is actually real.
In plain speak, please. I'm not the Rain Man of biblical quotes. Thanks.
So the simple stuff with the scripture was towards the end of time, people will be super evil and they'll be calling. So I break into your house and they're like, oh, Randy, he's just misunderstood and he's mentally ill and Molly, she's privileged and she should be okay with him breaking her back and stealing all her stuff and setting the house on fire with. And we've seen it. They started a GoFundMe for the guy who stabbed the woman on the train. For the murderer, they started one for him. You do great. These protests are for people who came here illegally. It's not. Pritzker, he said if he becomes president, he's going to open up investigations into the ICE officers and that they could get prosecuted in like 2028 or whenever if he becomes president. My point with that is you're siding with people who did things the wrong way and you're defund the police, abolish the police, abolish ICE. And I'm not an absolutist, but you guys keep siding with whatever. Oh, let's side with the terrorists. Let's not side with the Americans. Let's side with the cartels. Let's not side with even the illegals. Let's not side with the illegals. Let's side with them being cheap labor. So it's just, you guys want evil. You guys want evil. You guys want evil. And you think it's good.
Yeah. So Ben says part of it is simply that the evil was already there. It's just being more openly revealed. And yeah, with this biblical thing, like I know there's a lot of people that like to say the sky is falling and that, you know, this is the end times and this is all just indicative of like, these are signs that the end is coming. No, these are escalations of assholery that are going to cause worse to happen. Like, I don't think it's a prophecy as much as like we're devolving as a species. Like we're really becoming these like lawless fucking animals again. It's like Lord of the Flies right now. You've got, you know, Piggy with the Asmar, and you've got these savage beasts that are just like kill the pig, spill his blood, and it's really dark.
Well, we have a disgusting media that just reports completely opposite to what happened. Like, I can't remember the terrorist guy's name, but horrible, Molly. And LA is really diverse. I was talking to all the people when he got killed. I think Trump bombed him on his first term. Maybe it's Baghdadi or Soleimani. Anyways,
that dude died like 4 times.
Yeah, I'm talking to this girl, and she's like, that guy used to just go to people's houses and rape women or torture people. And he used to use a drill and torture people. And she's like, I'm so happy that they got him. And one of the news stations was like, he was a pious man and an austere man. And
but really look at Che Guevara. I mean, you're from, well, you're not from LA, but you've lived there long enough to see people wearing Che Guevara shirts like he's some kind of hero. And like,
most of those kids he would have shot.
Yeah.
He was a militant and
a dark dude.
Fundamentalist. He was not. He would not be down for getting high and, you know, all that kind of shit. He was a militant and a fundamentalist, and when most of the kids, and which is kind of funny, but any communist who hates capitalism is like a child that hates their father, if you know anything about the birth of communism and where it came from. So. So
Oh yeah, Karl Marx hated black people, and I don't know if he hated Jewish people or black people worse, but he used one to describe the other in a bad way. I can't even say
I
what
believe he
he
was a
said.
Jew. Marx was a Jew, I believe. Not that it matters, but I mean, that was his religion because it isn't an ethnicity. I don't want to get into that too much. But we've said a few times about biblical endings and that kind of thing. And I just like to let everybody know that this book is about astrology. It's based on astrology. It was written by astrologers. When they talk about the end times, what they mean is the end of an age. Just as Jesus said, I will be with you till the end of an age, an eon. Not the end of the world, as most people say, like the whole world's going to end. It's not going to end. We're just simply going into another age. And there'll always, if you look back through history, there's always turmoil whenever one of these ages ends. What I'm talking about is a great age, which is about 2,200 years roughly long. If you think, remember the Mayan calendar? Remember when that ended? People were freaking out, 2012 or whatever it was? Yeah, it was basically when that kind of age ended, and we were beginning a new age, which is where all the upheaval and stuff goes. But as far as the riots and driving everybody crazy and all the agitation, I can't do a better job than Yuri Bezmenov did. You got to watch a video about
1986.
Well, when he's talking about
KGB
moralization and how that all goes down, because that's exactly how they're leading us right now. And we're just about at the crisis stage, I'd say. We're at the point where, it's boiling and it could blow up at any moment, where, they're just agitating everybody from every possible side they can, straights and gays and religious and gay and, trans versus everybody and every race against everybody. And it just constantly feeding this agitation and see, can we get these people angry enough to kick off a war and start killing each other? Because I think that's what they really, really want. I mean, the powers that be. If they can make us hate each other like this, they can make the opposite true too. But they don't use their power that way.
His video was from I think 1984 or 1986.
Yeah,
and it's relevant right now.
Yes.
And here's a crazy thing: all of these people who are fighting for communism and Che Guevara, he said, you guys are the first people that we put up against the wall and we put bullets in your head. And the crazy thing with these people is, he said, until the end, they're still, the party is correct.
Yeah.
Everything else must have went wrong.
Yeah. Oh, dead air. Oh, damn.
No, okay. I just, my screen, I think Rumble's having some problems. Rumble just died for me, and then
it kept freezing on me.
And Molly, just so you know, I'm not a crazy Chris person. I just noticed stuff because.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh no, I thought you were talking about where like
you just happened to bring up some stuff I know.
Spicy and the black helicopters turn your fucking signal off.
Right.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, and maybe Chris, because you're not super pro law enforcement, you'd be a good one to ask. So have you heard about this HALO law that you cannot, we used to call it obstruction of justice, but apparently they've delineated 25 feet that an officer effecting an arrest needs 25 feet of space. Don't come within that 25 feet or you're arrestable under this HALO law. Have you heard about the HALO law, and what do you think about giving officers space instead of getting up and with your phone?
Is an awful lot, and it's one of those laws that's gonna get, when you have something that's vaguely written like that and hard to enforce, it's gonna get, there's gonna be problems with it. I understand, and they absolutely should have a safe perimeter where they can do their work and get this person and whoever it is under control without being attacked from other people and. Stuff like that. But, I don't know. I've seen kind of abuse on both sides, so I don't know what will make a person step in and try to affect something. I've seen some really bad videos of people being shot at a wedding because a brawl broke out between one of the wedding goers and a cop, and he ended up shooting a couple of them. So, I don't know what would make people step in and do that kind of thing, but
But I don't understand. Like when I see, even when I didn't like police officers, and I've been pulled over my fair share of times, and I could tell you about every one of them that I felt was entirely fucking unfair. I've gotten many tickets in my fucking lifetime, and had to like breathe on officers and all kinds of shit, and got fix-it tickets for shit that like I didn't even have my lights on because it's light out right now, and like I could tell you about many times that I felt like I was being targeted for being a punk rocker. But with tactics, I think it's 17 feet that if you're running at me with a knife out at 17 feet, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Yeah, you'll have the knife in you.
So 25 feet sounds far, but it really isn't. It's giving you just like a hair more than you need to live. And because we're now in this weird era, and I don't know, maybe that's just America, but I do see this kind of shit all over. And Rod had mentioned it in the chat earlier about how the UK is like arresting people for fucking tweets. But here,
Molly, real quick, that 25 feet thing, we had a sergeant come out. We were at 7-Eleven in Pacific Division, and he told us, me and my partner, he said, I want you guys to put your guns in the trunk. And he said, take a magazine out and put it inside of your holster. So we both have it in our holster. And he backs up. He goes, do you guys think you'd stop me from there? I'm like, probably. So he gets to like 25 feet and he runs up on us, Molly. I get mine out, but I don't get to where it would have been a kill shot. And my partner, hers was still in the holster. And he had a pen and he said, I'm just going to mark you guys each on your arm, which is going to show that I killed you because I could have put it anywhere. So he marks me and then he marks her. So he's killed both of us with a knife. He said, even if you had have shot me, my body wouldn't have registered that you did. Now, granted, he was a knife expert, but he's like, you guys underestimate knives and you watch Hollywood too much and you think, oh, he's far enough away, I'm going to shoot this guy. He's like, okay. So I was just talking to you a 25 feet thing.
Yeah. Did you ever have Persangam as a training officer? He was a knife expert for LAPD. They called him P12 because his last name was 12 letters long. Was it P12?
Yeah, P12. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he worked Pacific Division. He was a fucking legend. But yeah, he came out and just carved the shit out of one of our little mannequin things, like before you even know what the hell you're doing. And we did have those things where we had targets that face and they're going to, attack you. And we'll see if how many rounds you could get downrange before they get to you. And it's 25 feet's not enough. I know that sounds far, but it really isn't enough. And now, like, we just have this lawlessness where you see all these traffic stops, like where they're not complying. I'm not giving you my ID. I'm a mom. I'm a clarinet player. I don't have to tell you shit. I'm not signing that. I don't, like this one lady who was just pulled out of her car. I'm not sure where she was, but she was just arrested in the last week. She is blocking the fucking intersection because it's raining. And she's picking up her kids from school, but your kids can't get wet. I'm just going to cause traffic accidents because I don't want my kids to get wet 5 more feet to pull into a fucking parking spot, blocking the intersection. And so the officer goes to make contact with her. Now, we know later with hindsight, probably the reason she starts acting like a fucking asshole is because she doesn't have a driver's license. So it's just all of a sudden, I'm going to just become really out of control. And so she tries to square up on the officer and he pushes her down and it's kind of a fair fight. And they're scrapping on the ground and she gets arrested. And now everybody's just oh my God, it was just a mom picking up. It was some lawless fucking hellion blocking traffic because it's raining and your kids can get wet. They will live. You block traffic and somebody could get hurt. And the amount of bravado to just not be oh shit, I'm sorry. Or to say, yeah, I know I lost my license. And listen, you don't lose your license because, you forgot to renew it at the Secretary of State. You did some fucking moving violation, which was doing the wrong thing, and then you didn't go to court, so you did the wrong thing, and the court took it away, and you were like mildly fucking interesting. I'm gonna pick my kids up anyway because that's what I fucking do, whatever the fuck I want. And then you get pulled over for blocking the intersection, and now you escalated even more. And then people were like, oh my God, it was just a mom picking up her kids. Like, she was 8 levels of asshole, and nobody's really even acknowledging that. Like, I don't know what planet it would be okay to fight a cop on the side of the road. You're totally in the wrong. And even if I got pulled over, mistaken identity, we could talk about cold plates and the LPR and all this stuff. But let's say it's mistaken identity and they pull you out and they handcuff you and they stick you in the back of the car. Like, we'll figure it out later. Like, I'm not fighting. I'm not giving the officer any reason to pull anything off of his bat belt to use on me. I don't understand what's going on now where people think that it's okay to fight with the police, except to say that the media calls them the clarinet player, and it's fucking wrong.
Well, Chris said he's a roofer, and I know he has tools. That in and of itself, other than I don't want to get hurt or whatever, I'm not fighting Chris. Now this guy's got a gun. His partner has a gun. He's got a radio where he can call more people with guns. And your assumption is, oh, they have to do X, Y, and Z. No, now you're in hell because you decided, I want to do what I want to do. Chris, I wish you could come out to LA for like a weekend. People double park and there's no one parked in the space. And they just hit their hazards. And now we're all stuck because everybody is super, super important. And it's all about me. And you get called out on this stuff. Move. It's okay to, or better yet, cops don't do anything because you're a clarinet player. I've had a bad day. I just broke up with Molly. I want to stab the next person that double parks in front of me. So I bang on the window. Yak, yak, yak. And I'm saying that like if society all behaves, everyone's safe. If society decides I want to be the guy who throws rocks at cops, you're probably going to get a rock thrown at you.
Yeah, there is a certain amount of lawlessness that goes on in the city. And I mean, I saw it working West LA for certain. When I had my shoulder dislocated and I went to the shoulder dislocated doctor or whatever the fuck they're called. And the lady behind the counter literally said to me, are you here for a handicap placard or are you here for a medical reason?
Yeah,
So
away
they don't have anything to do with each other. You just go buy a handicap placard so that you could park in your VIP parking while some old lady walks to the grocery store from like way the fuck far away because you bought a handicap placard because you're important. And or do you have an actual medical issue? Like, and I mean, I could walk, but it was just very illuminating to me. And the amount, I mean, if you go downtown, the amount of people that abuse those handicap placards is fucking staggering. So now you can't park within like a mile of the store that you're trying to go to. So then Randy, who's paying a shit ton of taxes to have that store, can't have fucking customers. Like, I think we really need to take a step back and realize like how interconnected we really are. And sometimes the police officer dealing with these like little chicken shit things is because of the totality of how we all interact with one another. And they're trying, like, I feel like most of the officers, at least for LAPD, and, you know, probably about 40% at Grand Rapids, come to work every day to do the right thing, to try to help and like give back in their way. And I do think that there are a lot of good officers that are out there. You do have pickled agencies that don't deal with bad apples. LAPD is not one of those. There's nothing more exciting than to, we got a bad one. And I mean, we shared a parking lot with internal affairs for Hollywood division. Every motherfucking day they were trying to do a sting on you. And it's like, dude, we literally have people getting fucking murdered like on Yucca right now. Can we just go? Like, excuse me, officer, I happened to notice there was some narcotics discarded on the. Fuck you, dude! Like a backup just came out. Don't you have a radio? And like that guy was like, "How did she know that I'm, an undercover IA officer, bro? Because you're doing this to all of us. You're like auditing all of us, and like right now is not the time, sir." And actually, one of our officers, he found a Slim Jim, and Slim Jims are illegal in California. And he was like, "Officer, I found this Slim Jim." And like, so the officer has to book it into property, whatever. And so the officer was like, this was a guy that I worked with at Pacific Division. No, I think I worked with him at West LA. And he was like, "Okay, yeah, and where did you find it? And about what time? What is your name? What is your serial number?" And the guy started answering his fucking serial number. And the two of them just look at each other like, fucking audit. I knew it.
But Molly,
why an armed society is a more polite society. Think back when you could get called to a duel if you insulted someone.
Well, I don't know about that.
What would you duel?
Yeah, well, I mean, an armed society is a polite society. A car is a weapon, and you put a good, well-behaved person behind a wheel of a car, and they become an asshole. So I don't know what would happen if we armed everybody. They definitely have those people out there trying to duel, and just because they got one.
Well, I mean, you look at Chicago, which has like horrible violent crime. In fact, after the last time I went there, and I gotta find that picture. I'll never go back to Chicago unless there's some major structural fucking change, because that shit's wild. There was blood all over the sidewalk, some guy fucking screaming and stabbing at the air, and a bunch of people trying to fucking rob us the whole time we were there. A guy was killed leaving the same venue the night after we were robbed, or they tried to fucking get us in the parking lot, like lawless. And you had a Homeland Security car. This is the picture I want to find of a Homeland Security car with a fucking mannequin in it. A mannequin, like just walking on the street, like they're laughing at you. They know that they don't fucking have any law enforcement for you. And now Chicago's just like, oh God, why would they send the National Guard in? We've got everything totally under control. Fuck that. I dealt with a lot of shit in the city of Los Angeles. I've been a victim of every crime but fucking homicide. And I can tell you, I'm scared to go into Chicago, and to know that I'm not allowed to protect myself with any kind of self-defense weapons in Chicago. Fuck that. That place is totally dead to me.
Well, Molly, you said interconnected, and I think people don't realize how interconnected we are. Like, it was during the whole "We Love Criminals" year, and they poured water on an officer. So that officer has to go get his gun cleaned and change his uniform, and he's out of commission. And I know people are like, "Well, good, we don't like cops anyway." That guy might have been the difference between somebody being found or somebody being killed or saving somebody's life. Just having been a cop, I realized how important timing is. And I show up too late to come help you, Chris. That guy got you.
Sorry, my pager is going off. Somebody's trash can is on fire.
Do you guys think that there should be a limit on how long somebody is a beat cop or somebody that's out there dealing with the people like that? Should there be a limit, like maybe 4 years or 3 years? Because it seems like if you were in that for so long, you definitely become jaded and kind of, you might be, a little jumpy.
Sometimes those veterans are actually way better cops than the guy who's been on for. It took a veteran to change my mind. He said, take every incident as if it was the first time you're meeting an Armenian or a blonde, blue-eyed person or a black person. Every incident is a new incident. He also said that person that you're taking care of, that victim, is somebody's son, daughter, whatever. So yes and no. So I think you should do 4 years and maybe take 2 months on the desk or something. And then another 4 years but take you out? No. We need veteran cops, definitely.
Yeah, I would say that the more like the veteranos are so much more like mellow, because they've been in fights, they've been confronted, they've been through all of it. I would say it's that like kind of rattlesnake sort of theory. It's like the young ones that are out there, like everything is violation, like we're gonna be more apt to bite and use more venom as a younger officer than somebody who's seen it all. And like, you're going to square up on me, dude. Like, I'm just going to pepper spray you. It's not a big deal. Like, we can go to jail. You're going to go to jail. You can go to the hospital before we go to jail, or we just go to jail. Like, the veterans really, I think have more of an overarching kind of calmness about them because they've seen some crazy shit. Now, for LAPD, if you wanted to go into the gang unit, I think, was it a 2-year or a 3-year max before you have to re-up, Randy? I should remember that because I worked the gang unit, but you had to sign the disclosure, which is like, this is how much money I have. And this is like, so a lot of people were like, you're kind of a scab anyway. So they weren't getting like the best officers necessarily to join the gang unit once that disclosure thing started. And like, I didn't have any money or any possessions, and I lived in Rampart. So like, you can have my bank account number. I'm cool. But I think LAPD really does a lot to deal with it in that if Randy and I are super besties, we're not allowed to work together all the time. And in fact, if there's anything going on in the car where like somebody gets a complaint or our recap isn't good or something, or we're not handling our area, or we're putting out too many backups, like we get separated immediately. They really like to keep you working with new officers. And I think that's really a good thing because you've got like, when you sit in the car with a new officer or somebody that you haven't worked with before, like, okay, what do you like? You like dope, guns, gangsters? What do you go after? Like, oh, I like stolen cars. All right, that's cool. Let's make sure that we have everything, buttoned down. Because if we're going to be running plates today, we might be going on a chase. So don't worry about your ticket book. Leave that in the trunk. Let's go. Let's go run some plates. Or I really like dope, and I'm trying to get my drug recognition expert certification, so I need 2 more PCPs. Okay, well, we're going to go to this neighborhood then, and we're going to go look for that kind of shit. I think it's really good to work with different people and to keep switching it up, but to mandate it, I don't know, because like if you're really doing the job well, then like why just arbitrarily go time's up, time for you to go count beans in a jar on a desk?
I think it solidifies whoever you are as a person, Chris. If you are a genuinely good person, it makes you an even better person. I think what people don't understand about cops is why do you guys usually vote Republican? Why are you guys usually conservative? Because they see policy in real time, like in real life. Oh, this family's getting everything for free, and 2 of their kids have gotten killed in gang violence. Maybe giving everything for free to somebody is not the best idea. Oh, this family, their 2 kids have jobs and everyone has a job, and and it's not a Republican thing, it's just a reality thing. So as a cop, you become more of who you are. If you're a racist a-hole, like the department where Molly had worked at, they're going to become more of racist a-holes. That's just what's going to happen. LAPD, they just become more professional, or the people Molly and I worked with. I can't speak for every single person, but those were some great cops.
Something a veteran friend told me once. He said, if you were an asshole before you entered the service, you're going to be an asshole while you're in the service, and you're going to be an asshole when you get out of the service. It doesn't imbue you with some great thing. You are who you are, and that's who you're going to be. I would imagine cops are the same way. If they were an asshole cop, they were probably an asshole before they became a cop, and they'll be an asshole after they're a cop. I mean, just
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
I can definitely be an asshole when I want to be, but I think I really am out there to like save the world. I say that, but my pager just went off. Somebody's trash can's on fire, and I'm talking to you right now instead of going, and I just heard the fire truck go by, so that's good. Rod says, yeah, I've had great interactions with veteran cops and horrible experiences with rookies. And part of that is that when you're a rookie police officer, everybody knows how to warn, hey, knock that off. You're learning by writing the ticket. You're learning by making the arrest. So there is a little bit more letter of the law when it comes to getting that job experience. than when you're a veteran cop and it's like, yeah, I've written thousands of tickets. This isn't a learning experience for me to write you another ticket. So, but for LAPD, at least, we get credit for writing a warning as well. Cause you're pulling somebody over, you know the law, you're warning them for, 23123A, CVC, whatever it is. And then you let them go. They consider that recap or that amount of work that you've done as the same. So there's nowhere that I've ever worked or heard of has a
Molly,
quota.
so I, in my jujitsu classes, there's a CHP captain, and I was kind of talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm really letter of the law." Now, for the three of us, we might be like, "Oh man, that guy sounds like an a-hole." His brother was killed by a DUI driver, so that pushed him to do all of the things. Like you wouldn't even think he was a police officer, much less captain in CHP. So for you, Chris, he brings that to work with him. Man, you're not gonna give me a break, dude. You're not gonna. I have a dead brother behind some of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. Molly and I were sculpted a little more the same, where I went to work and I'm like, who can I help today? I wasn't Mr. I want to get in a shoot in and maybe I can unalive somebody. I really was on some, I'm going to serve. And they say, oh, that's corny. What are you really here for? Dude, I really was there to help people.
Yeah, I think the only absolute letter of the law traffic stop that I make where I don't care what you say, I'm giving you a ticket, cigarette out the window. Totally, every time, I'm going to give you a ticket for it. I don't warn people for throwing a fucking lit cigarette out the window. Because that goes into somebody's... Huh?
A bike cop got blinded by that, right? Or
yeah, well, motorcycle riders, it can get in their helmet or in their up their sleeve, and now they're dead. And or we have fires.
yeah.
It's just the most lawless fucking thing ever. But there are certain laws that are misdemeanors, but there are still a shall arrest that you don't have any spirit of law. You can't warn somebody for driving drunk. Like, okay, just get home, try to drive safe. Like that's not happening. And then like 243E1, which is misdemeanor domestic violence. You can't warn for domestic violence. Like, oh, okay, like you shoved her on the couch, but she doesn't have a visible injury. Well, you guys knock it off, okay? Just, get it together. Like, no, somebody's got to go.
Have you ever had to turn a blind eye when you didn't want to?
Turn a blind eye when I didn't want to?
Say you pulled over somebody important's son or something, and in the process of the stop, they say, hey, yeah, you just need to let him go with a warning or something like that.
No, you can't. I mean, the enforcement action is up to me.
All right.
My first arrest was a domestic violence, actually, and the guy's dad was a lawyer or something, or a judge or whatever. He's like, do you know who my dad is? Like, hopefully you do. I don't know. You could call him later, but you're getting fucking booked. Like,
well, no, I wouldn't think that somebody you're arresting could talk their way out of it, but maybe like a superior say, hey, yeah, you better let him go.
I got in extra trouble for the stop that Molly and I don't know how long you've been a fan of the show, Chris, but kind of what started the whole ball rolling with me getting in a lot of trouble was this girl was the daughter of someone important in Orange County, somebody in politics or something. And my partner searched her, and he was a male, and she had on like nothing. And I did what I was supposed to, and all of hell followed me right after that. And just consistently. So yeah, pulling over the wrong person, that's important, but also he mistreated her. So I don't know how that works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the department will not back you for making the wrong judgment call. But I also think they hire adults. Like, I don't need somebody finger wagging over me going like, her dad's important. Like, okay. Like, there's no exemption to the California Vehicle Code for my daddy's important. So I pulled her over for 24, 550, whatever. And I'm going to warn or I'm going to cite, and it's based off of this, that, or the other. What I can say is, if I pull you over for, let's say, going through a stop sign, which is against the law, but it's also a safety issue, and now you're going to give me attitude and tell me, do you know who my dad is? What does that make me feel about the likelihood that you're going to blow through every fucking stop sign the rest of your fucking life? Instead of like, dude, I looked down, I was eating my burrito, my girlfriend was sucking my dick, like it just got crazy, and I blew through the stop sign. I'm so sorry. Like, that guy probably isn't going to blow through another stop sign. But like, do you know who my dad is? Like, I mean, hopefully he helps with traffic court. Here you go, sign here.
I think we can all agree that we live in a society where crime is sort of rampant at the top, and it goes unchecked. Epstein files, anyone? So we know that at the top, the law does not apply to them. So, of course, you got like these really pretentious people we were talking about earlier, very self-important, that some, down the line, they believe, hey, I'm important enough that I'm above reproach. You can't even pull me over or anything. So, but
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Well,
we do have a lot of people that are not sovereign citizens. Randy, what do you call it when they're when you can't give them a ticket?
No, sovereign citizens.
Dignitaries, diplomats.
Diplomats. Yeah, they have special rates. Yeah, we can't do anything. You can't even give them a parking ticket. You can't pretty much nothing. But I kind of wanted to say something to you, Chris. When they dismantle this stuff and they destroy the fabric of what it is, it's our stuff. It's the chat and it's you two guys. It's not their stuff. They've got private security. They're in gated communities. So when they say Randy should be able to act wild because whatever reason, Chris, that's your truck I'm messing up. That's Molly's apartment that I'm trying to set on fire. That's our stuff. So I don't want them coming in and saying how our law enforcement is supposed to be ran. I think you should say, Chris, and I think Molly should say, and I think I should say, not them, not the media. Because really quick story, during the summer of We Love Criminals, CNN wanted police officers to protect them during the riots, and MTV also wanted security. I applied, former police. They said, we don't want any ex-cops, any resigned police officers, we want active duty police. That was MTV. The biggest one saying, yeah, we need to defund and abolish police. They said, we want real police.
Yeah,
CNN,
just even the protesters, they would get in scuffles between groups, and these people that were just saying, fuck the police, abolish the police, are running over. Hey, arrest that man. What? I thought you didn't want the cops. Like, yeah. So I think.
No one wants bad police, but don't make it your whole premise. And I don't mean us three talking who've had a bad traffic stop. I mean, you're the media. Stop doing what you're doing, because you make these areas where they believe all of this stuff insane, Chris. We'll do a whole show on me working. I do executive protection. Like I work at a Walmart or a Target. 8-year-old gets stabbed. A 24-year-old woman, she got stabbed. And this is all thanks to these people who are like, criminals are just misunderstood. Knives are misunderstood. It makes me so mad. I get sarcastic.
Demoralization of a country. That's what they're doing, breaking it down.
Yeah.
Lawless at the top and lawless at the bottom. It's only us in the middle. We're the ones that have to, obey and stay in line, or we'll lose our shit. And,
US 80.
Other ones that are above us are untouchable, and the ones below us don't have anything to take. So
Well, I think that's interesting because we have more and more and more and more laws. And now you're saying you can't even be within 25 feet of a police officer making an arrest because people are just becoming lawless fucking assholes. And now we have to delineate, okay, now it's against the law to fuck a kid. We didn't think that we had to make it against the law. We kind of thought we were all on board with that. But now, this is what we're going to do. And this is how each law is enacted, is because we're losing common sense. And we're losing that civility that we used to have, that little inner voice that was like, I shouldn't rob the bank because it's wrong. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, let's see. It carries a sentence of 15 to whatever. Like, it shouldn't be that. Like, that golden rule should still apply. But now we have to be told, like, don't get within 25 feet of the officer. You can scream at him and tell him he's an asshole and videotape him while he's trying to do his job, but just stay within outside of 25 feet. Like, it really is just sort of a barometer of our decline of humanity. Rosa Solart says that California doesn't deserve you, Randy. Listen, I am trying my little best. I had a life-changing experience with Arizona cops who showed me compassion in a terrible time for me. Yeah, it's a hard job. It's pretty thankless. And I can tell you now, as a firefighter, where like every horny housewife comes to bring us like baked goods, like, are the boys here? Yeah, they hire girls now too. Like, because I made some cookies. Cool, I'll get to take one of those. Like, we made them for the boys. Like, I thought you made them for the firefighters. Like, like, being a firefighter, wow, it's so fucking different. Because as a cop, when you're not working, you got to look for work. And like firefighters, when they're not working, at least the full timers, like I'm not a full-time firefighter, I'm not paid on call. But the full-time firefighters, when they're not working, they're making an omelet for 75 people or playing a video game or having a nap or whatever. Like, dude, I just can't even imagine that as a police officer, like being able to like sit down at a restaurant and like eat food or whatever. Like, that's just doesn't happen.
There's not enough of them. Different. That's why. I think there should be almost like a nationalized thing. Like, why is it the only way you can serve your country is to pick up a rifle and go to some foreign country and kill brown people? I
don't think it is. I think there's plenty of things that are very noble.
Well, I would rather it be sort of like it is, the armed service. You put 4 years in as a police officer, you get the same kind of perks, the health care and all that kind of stuff. And, sort of look at it like that as a something that a citizen would do, I think only people are citizens should know.
Firefighters are hot. And she put the Kermit drinking the tea. Listen, you can have all of them. I used to have a very high opinion of them.
So Chris, you know something crazy? Where I live, I've been here 16 years. I've probably seen the police 16 times. And I don't know, 16? No, when I go to LA, I see cops 16 times in the one day I'm in LA. If people can behave, I'm not going to say we don't need cops, but you won't need them as much if people are policing themselves.
Oh, I know. I had a neighbor that had probably 40 service calls in 4 years. So, yeah. Talk about nuisance neighbors. I got some stories right there.
That sucks. Yeah. I remember one time I called 911 on my neighbors, the 18th Street gang members, and they were breaking into this lady's apartment. And I'm just like looking out my window at them breaking into this fucking apartment. Like, shh, man, come on. They're like breaking the window with a baseball bat. And I'm like, all right, guys. 911, what are you reporting? Like, hi, my fucking neighbors are breaking into another neighbor's apartment from the outside. And so, like, I think I was just in the police academy and I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm going to see him like tactically deploy and I'm going to see him like, whoever the officer is that responds to this, I'm going to see this team of officers like triangulate for safety and all this stuff. And there was one dude who showed up and he like looks down the thing, sees them actively breaking a fucking window with a baseball bat. And he says to him, you guys locked out? Like, what? You're giving them their fucking alibi? Like, before, like, what are you guys doing? Oh, biddy. Like, you guys locked out? And the guy goes, yeah. Like, totally lying. And he goes, okay, can I get a last name? And he's like, Rodriguez. And the two of them start laughing because he's obviously fucking lying. Then the officer leaves. Like, I don't know what happened to the lady's fucking apartment that they broke into that day. But, like, dude, you were there. You watched it happen. Fuck, so dumb.
I saw my neighbor's garage door getting kicked in, And I yelled at the guy at first and didn't get any response. And then I ran inside and called 911, and I'm telling him what's going on there. So I run down to the corner, and she's like, "Are you running? Don't be going anywhere near him." But he comes out and loads some stuff in his car, and he gets in his car and drives past me, and I'm talking on the phone and pointing at him so he knows I can see him. And the cop is coming. He's like a couple of blocks down, and they're like passing each other, right? And I'm telling the lady, and I'm like, tell the cop he's passing him right now. He's passing him. The cop drives up to me. I go, yeah, that guy you just passed, go get him. And they didn't catch him. He got away because he got on a main street and took off. But
Yeah.
it sucked.
It takes there's a long lag of at least for like LA, there's the bitch that's answering the phone, and then she tells the bitch that's telling the officer, and then that bitch has to put down her crossword puzzle and tell the officer, and then it has to get broadcast, and like there's a long lag. So I also wouldn't chase people because that dude's property is not worth your fucking life.
I just wanted him to know that somebody was right there and saw him. At least that. I was going to go with a baseball bat at first, but I was like, he might be armed with something better than a baseball bat. So.
How much did he care that you were watching him and on the phone?
I would have got him as he came out the door, though. I'm telling you, you would have never saw me. I would have got him blindsided for sure with one good swing. But if I didn't get him, then I would have been in trouble. Had a knife.
But then you're using force for property. And you're gonna get some.
Sorry, we're out there. Ain't the place to be messing around. Say they let each other know.
I'm just telling you, if I was to shoot somebody over property, like that would be a bad time.
I won't. If you got me trapped in my house.
But that's different, and also you really have to articulate. If I say, okay, 911, what are you reporting? Like, oh, I just killed a guy in my house. Like, okay, what happened? Well, he was breaking in. You know why? It's because I bought that really nice TV and I put the box out. I think he was coming to steal the TV. I don't think he knew I was home. Dude, I could go to prison. But if I say, I don't know what the hell he was trying to come in and get me for, but I don't own anything, and I made noise, and he was still coming in, and I started screaming, and he wanted to get in, he was going to kill me.
He's inside. That's the only reason I need. He's inside.
Yeah, I mean, that does work in some places that have castle doctrine, but Los Angeles didn't have it, and I don't think that Michigan does either. I think you still have to articulate some danger to occupants.
I mean, if you're stuck inside your house and they're between you and the exit, bye-bye. You're going bye-bye.
I think you should still articulate it a little bit more. I'm telling you right now, even if you're legally allowed to blow them away, you try getting up on that stand and saying like, "Oh, no, he's in my house. You think I'm going to give him my shit?"
But I would probably try to say like who's there or something like that, just real quick, and make sure I'm not shooting a relative or something. Somebody coming in my house.
I don't know what relatives breaking your door down, but I think
I can see my mother-in-law coming in the middle of the night unannounced and just walking in, but she lives nearby, so I wouldn't want to accidentally shoot her or somebody I care about. But
Molly said I could stay with you.
Yeah. Hey, Randy, why don't you come over to Chris said it was totally okay to go to his house tonight, but he lost his key and he really needs you to just break the door, okay? But then you're going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
3 times while I lived on Vincent Court early in like 1992 and 93, in a couple of years there. 3 times we had somebody try to break in the house that we lived in while we were home. It was kind of crazy. So I've been on the other side if somebody is trying to jimmy the door open.
Yeah, and and a lot of them are saying like, with this leftist media saying like, oh, he was only there to like steal TVs and they made it a violent crime. Well, so there's 459 California Penal Code, but then there's also hot prowl burglary. And if I go to steal your TV while you're there, it is a violent crime. It's one of the very few times where the California law gets a little bit more serious. And and for good reason. Like, you're in your house, like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, there's a lady, she's sleeping naked, and this guy is just standing over her. He's so high, she's naked, but he just went into glitch mode and he's just staring at her. It was a hot prowl. We didn't catch him, but just the whole thought of, I'm in my house, I'm super comfortable, I'm naked. Some person that's high breaks in, and I'm thinking of it from a woman's perspective. I'm not thinking of it. Even me, I don't want to do a guy who's high in my house while I'm. You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's serious.
Yeah, I had a guy who was deployed who had some pretty bad PTSD, and if I went over to his house in the middle of the night because we had opposite schedules, I would just like, hello, like I'm opening the door. It's just me. And then I would go sleep on the couch because you don't want to wake that guy up because his fight, flight, or freeze is fucking full fight. And like, you're not going to win that battle because he's not thinking clearly. And so when he would get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, he would see my purse hanging on the handle and he would know that I was there then. And he could go, oh, okay, you're here. And then I could go in and go to sleep in the bedroom. But yeah,
How do you say who's there in Spanish?
¿Quién es?
¿Quién? That was supposedly Billy the Kid's last words. When he got ambushed, he came in there. Pat Garrett ambushed him. He said, "It's the middle of the night. Hey, who's there?" Yeah. So maybe you shouldn't say who's there. Just shoot at the sound. I don't know. Get all crazy. No, I'm kidding.
So. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give away all my tactics, but there will be an element of surprise.
Shotgun will make people get out of your car. I said, racking a shotgun will make people get out of your car. Just go up to the window and they'll run away.
Racking a shotgun sets people's mind right. I mean, there's a reason why when we would go to like bank robberies or something, you take that shotgun, like it just sets people's mind right.
Chris, one of the only things Hollywood absolutely gets correct is racking the shotgun. Because you're like, why wasn't the weapon already ready? But that is a real thing. I've seen it. Molly's seen it. I've done it. 2 cops came to visit me and trying to be funny. And I'm in my house and I just racked it. And they're like, oh, shoot. He's like, we worked everything out after. But that's real. The whole racking the shotgun is real.
Yeah, I would never point it out the window, but you know, just,
2 hands though, please, not this like hand bullshit.
Proper.
And I don't remember how they
doing that shit will get them
stuck. In the academy, there were people that were like racking it nicely, and like it wouldn't fully cycle.
Yeah, it's not going to cycle.
And I think the firearms instructor said. To treat it like a whore or something. Like you're not there to like treat it. This ain't your mom. You fucking rack that thing. And I just always remember that like shotguns are.
Yeah, flick that shell out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, Molly, really quick. I know we were supposed to talk about traffic stops. I got to tell you guys about one. Has nothing to do with anything, but we're on Hollywood Boulevard. We stopped this car. And you guys know I like to talk. I'm speaking to the driver while my partner's searching the car. And I'm like, are we going to find anything? He's like, no. And he was telling the truth. And the crazy thing with him, he was just talking like somebody a bill off the phone. And I'm like, what? So we just got to talking about his life. He said, yeah, I used to be into everything. I used to transport for the cartel. And what happened was we lost the load. His partner stole everything. And he didn't, but the cartel had grabbed him, took him south of the border, and they cut pieces of him off. Like he was missing missing every next thing. So he's missing parts of his tongue, piece of his nostril was gone. He's like, I don't F around anymore. I don't do that stuff anymore. But it's crazy what you'll see on a traffic stop, Chris, because I'm like, so the cartel literally had you and just cut pieces of you off? He's like, yeah. And he said, they found out I hadn't stolen it. And I don't even want to know what they did to his partner. But I was like, so did they apologize? Did they give you money? What'd they do? He said, nothing. A few days later, they're like, do you want to transport another package? He's like, no, I'm done. But no apology, no anything. And I know that kind of has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but this is the kind of stuff that cops see on traffic stops. And he had expired registration.
So that's what I was wondering, is it like a combat thing where you just see the worst of humanity and to be in that for so long is really bad for you as a person, the cop, I know that we need to retain and have some veteran cops out there to keep the others in line. But, I was just wondering, because I thought maybe there should be a limit on how long somebody's a beat cop and involved in that deep. I mean, for some people, I guess it would probably be a great career thing, and they could just totally go in there their whole life, like some people do with the service. But
what it did for me was it made me realize there are monsters out there. We have to stop with Chris, you want to steal a chocolate bar? I'm not mad at you, but there are real people out there that they can't be around the three of us. They cannot. They will chop one of our heads off. And the thing with the extremes on a certain side, they're like, no, everyone's good to go. No, somebody sat that guy down in a chair and cut pieces of that guy off. That guy cannot be around us.
Yeah, you have to have somebody that's going to be there to enforce the laws and keep the peace. That's tribal. That's something that we've been a part of human nature for thousands of years. You need somebody there and hopefully that person isn't abusive and steps over the line and has a big ego.
Yeah.
That's definitely harmful. But
yeah, that's the key part. And I mean, we could go into the hiring process maybe another time because I know we're at 2 hours now, so we should probably let people go to bed. But that's really key is who are you hiring? Because just like you said, like if you're a dick before, you're going to be a dick on the job. And like I haven't changed as a person. Maybe the hair color has changed and my clothing has changed, but like I'm still the same person that I was before, during, and after. And it's an interesting time to be in the hiring process because who the fuck would want to do it right now? They have to make a law so that people don't beat you while you're trying to arrest somebody. Like that's crazy. And yeah, I think for me, I don't think it hardens you. I think if anything, it like empowers you. There's bad shit that happens all the time. But if I was a hairdresser, there's nothing I can do about it. And there's a helplessness there that is so awful. But as a police officer, that I could go to that call, that I could talk to that victim, that I could interview that suspect, that I could go testify to what I saw. I think it puts me in a position of power to do something good about the bad things that happen. And I miss that a lot.
Yeah, Molly,
Coming out of trash can fire isn't
Molly, my best day on the job, and it's just gonna take 2 seconds. I got this lady her baby back. Her gangster boyfriend stole a baby, and she got her baby back. The rest of the 10 years is whatever. That day was, and I was getting yelled at the whole time. I was a brand new cop. Answer the radio. Send the units over there. When she was leaving, she had her baby with me, and she just gave me a little nod of like, thank you. And that was it. And since then, I've just been worthless.
I peaked. That was it.
But those are the days, Chris, like stuff like that, where you actually made a difference.
Yeah,
And you know, yeah.
Chris, thanks for coming on. That was super unexpected and awesome. But that's why I like to open it up.
thanks for having me.
And I have a couple of festive stories I didn't get to, but we'll be doing this again. And love you, bestie. Thanks for playing on a Friday night with me.
Love you too, buddy.
I know that the hot chicks are beating down your door, but thanks for hanging out with me instead.
I can't hear them. Oh, they're at the neighbor's house.
Yeah. Kianis. And I don't know, next weekend's not Halloween, so we'll be back next Friday, or I'll be back next Friday. I don't know what I'm doing.
Molly, are you going to give the chat the last word? What's the chat talking about?
The chat says, fuck you, Randy. Wait, hold on.
Did they capitalize my name?
Yeah, it's totally capitalized. Rose Thistle is good with the caps. No, she says, no way, both Molly and Randy are the kind, common sense, and compassionate cops that are the best, in my opinion. Thanks, Rose Sissel. That's very nice
Thank
of
you,
you.
Rose.
Yeah, I think she misspelled Randy. I think she's Molly, and especially Molly, is I think what she meant. But yeah, so I will, see you same bat time, same bat channel. If you guys could hit the like, for Randy here and Chris for coming on and hanging
Awesome,
out with you
Chris.
on a Friday. Be very cool. It's free and it makes us feel pretty good about ourselves. So, all right, guys. Love you guys. And here
Hey, guys.
is our original outro by Ben McMillan. So.